Good afternoon, YouTube. I just want to talk to y'all for a little bit this afternoon. I guess I'm going to play that a little bit. Oh, okay, we're still on. It's a touchy camera. Good afternoon, YouTube. Good day, good night, whenever you see this. My name is Joseph Stubblefield, Team Jesus Wins fame. Now I want to talk to y'all about North Korea for just a little bit. There's been some things that have happened in recent events that have just raised up red flags for me. And I think we need to address a few things. And for all you people who've been prepping, good job. And for all of you who haven't been prepping, you might want to consider starting. Get yourself up at least 2 weeks worth of food rations. Keep you and your family safe for about 2 weeks. Now, if everything goes crazy and North Korea starts lobbing nukes, or something else happens and a conventional war starts, you guys want to be able to hunker down in your houses for 2 weeks, right? And let the world pass by around you. Though people will go crazy, especially the ones that haven't prepped. They'll go crazy. But here, let's talk about why I have these concerns. See, everybody's talking about North Korea and how they've been saber-rattling, and his father did this for some time, and there were concessions made from the United States and other governments, and that's how they would make their money. We all realize that. But there's something that happened on March 17th that not a lot of folks are talking about, which really raises a red flag for me. On March 17th, when everybody was going out to celebrate St. Patty's Day, our good President Obama made out an executive order that he could allocate all of our resources in the United States to benefit wherever he deemed it necessary. In other words, he can allocate all of our fuel, all of our water supplies, and all of our food supplies wherever he deemed it necessary. Now, normally they do that in a time of war, but he's got it set up where he can do it in a time of war or a time of peace. Okay? And then, a couple weeks later, all of a sudden North Korea's saber-rattling. Okay? Now, that wouldn't be so bad. However, we all know that, well, a lot of us know that Kim Song-Soo-Yoon, whatever his name is a puppet on a string. You've got to realize that all his funding for all of his nuclear weapons came from somewhere else. He had some money, but they didn't have quite enough money to do what they needed. I sincerely believe it's China that has been backing them the whole time. And why China? Well, there's a certain nation in this global community of ours that owe China a considerable amount of money. Considerable amount. And they probably don't think we can pay quick enough. And they probably don't want us to pay quick enough. And there's been laid plans throughout the internet of how the United States would be divvied up. The Chinese community has been staging themselves throughout the United States, in Idaho and New Mexico and other locations, and the northern states, and around West Virginia. I think that's the last I heard. But nevertheless, they've been staging themselves. You've heard about the stage massings south of the border in Mexico. The Chinese are the ones who helped build the NAFTA highway. They've got a huge port in Mexico, and they built the NAFTA highway through the United States, up I-35 into Canada. They've been planning. These fellas have been working. And I think it's time for them to claim their debt. But they're going to back North Korea. If something happens, I'll bet you $1 to a donut that the Chinese will come alongside the North Koreans and back them up. You see, even if they lob a nuke over here, we can't put a nuke in North Korea because we have to protect South Korea, which is our ally. So, something, food for thought. We can do a conventional war over there, but we cannot do a nuclear war over there, because we all know how bad it would harm our other allies. And China knows that, and they're counting on it. I'd look for China to do something crazy and try to invade the United States. Now, I have other reasons to believe that. We all know the recent release of the new Red Dawn movie, and when it was originally to be released by MGM, it was supposed to be China invaded the United States. Well, China heard what they were saying and said, no, you can't do that. And they come up with some reason because our Chinese people would be offended. Okay? And so they made it so that it had to be the North Koreans would do the invasion. I doubt it seriously. North Korea invade the United States, really. But that's the storyline they went with because they were muscled by China. Maybe China didn't want to let them know their hidden agenda. However, the Aussies remade that movie, and apparently they didn't have the same muscle against the Aussies, and they used China to come in, and they took over northern Australia through a port and started pouring in, and they told them that they have more than enough land, and people were starving in China, and they need a place to prosper. So basically, I'm thinking it's the same thing. I think China's going to come in and rub elbows with us and say, listen, you owe us all this property because you cannot pay back the debt. And Barack Obama has been working doubly hard to make sure that we cannot pay up the debt. And then he turns around and buys up all the ammunition. Keeps buying it up, giving it to Homeland Security to store it up, and then he gives it to FEMA. He keeps buying up the ammunition. Come on, think about it, folks. They've been planning something for some time. They wanted to take our guns. They know they can't do it. I think they're moving forward. But let's stay tuned and see what actually happens. I pray to God nothing happens. But deep down in your heart, you know that somebody was fixing to do something not too very smart, right? We knew something was going to happen. We'll just keep our hearts and pray together and stand our ground. We are America. We are Americans. Pray hard. Pray harder. Wake up, America. Y'all be blessed.